Hello friends, I'm Shahjalal, a supply chain specialist. Today I will discuss about an international payment method, namely documentary collections. Before discussing on the topic, we should know that documentary collections are governed by the Uniform Rules for Collections (URC) published by the International Chamber of Commerce (ICC). It's familiar as URC 522. What is the meaning of the number 522? 522 is a publication number of the ICC. ICC means International Chamber of Commerce. Someone can say wrongly that documentary collections are governed by the UCP 600. It's totally wrong concept. UCP 600 deals with the letter of credit only. In this video, I will discuss number 1, what is documentary collections, number 2, 4 types of documentary collections, number 3, the similarities and differences between documentary collections and letter of credit, number 4, steps of the documentary collections. Please stay connected to end of the video to get your desired information. What is documentary collections? A documentary collection is a process in which a seller instructs their bank to forward documents related to the export of goods to a buyer's bank with a request to present these documents to the buyer for payment or acceptance, which is applicable as per sales contract between buyer and seller. What types of documentary collections are there? Mainly 2 types of documentary collections, but in the practical field, 4 types of documentary collections are practiced in an international trade. Number 1, documents against payment (DP). Number 2, documents against acceptance (DA). Number 3, clean collection (CC). Number 4, cash against documents (CAD). Let's try to know the details about the types of documentary collections. Number 1, documents against payment (DP), also known as side draft. The buyer must pay before the collecting bank releases the title documents. Number 2, documents against acceptance (DA). The buyer accepts a time draft promising to pay for the goods at a future date. After acceptance, the title documents are released to the buyer. Number 3, clean collection (CC). The exporter creates a bill of exchange which is sent without any export documents to a buyer for collection through the remitting bank to the collecting bank. There is less security for an exporter since the documents are sent directly to the importer. Number 4, cash against documents (CAD). CAD and DP are about the same. In this method, to avoid lacks of the security and legal protection of a documentary collections, a third party, namely an escrow service, is used. A third party as escrow service plays a vital role to minimize the risks of importer and exporter. Letter of credit and documentary collections have some similarities and differences. We can identify major common points of these 2 payment methods, which I will discuss now. Number 1, governing rules. Letter of credit transactions are governed by UCP 600 and documentary collections are governed by URC 522 rules. Number 2, transaction flow. Letter of credit are opened by the issuing banks with the request and authorization which they have received from the applicants. Applicant is the importer in a commercial letter of credit (LC). As a result, we can say that letter of credit are initiated by the importers. On the other hand, documentary collections are initiated by the exporters. Number 3, risk degree. Letter of credit give more assurance to the exporters than documentary collections. For this reason, the letter of credit is accepted as a more secure payment method in international trade than the documentary collections. Number 4. Responsibilities of banks. Banks play a key role in letter of credit transactions and they have high level of responsibilities against the exporters. On the other hand, in the documentary collections, banks have almost no valid responsibilities against the exporters. As an example, the banks don't control the documents in documentary collections, but in documentary credit transactions, banks check the documents to determine whether the presentation is complying or not. Number 5. Cost. The cost of the documentary collections are less than the cost of the documentary credits, but letter of credit are one of the most expensive payment methods in international trade. What are the steps in documentary collections? Number 1. The importer and exporter agree on the terms of sale, shipping dates, etc., and that payment will be made on documentary collection basis. Generally, it is done by a sales contract. Number 2. The exporter, through a freight forwarder, arranges for the delivery of goods to the port of departure. Number 3. The forwarder delivers the goods to the point of the departure and prepares the necessary documents based on instruction received from the exporter. Number 4. Export documents and instructions are delivered to the exporter's bank by either the exporter or the freight forwarder. Number 5. Following the instruction of the exporter, the bank processes the documents and forwards them to the buyer's bank. Number 6. The buyer's bank, on receipt of documents, contacts the buyer and requests payment or acceptance of the draft. Number 7. After payment or acceptance of the draft, documents are released to the buyer who utilize them to pick up the goods. Number 8. The buyer's bank remits fund to the seller's bank or advise that the draft has been accepted. Number 9. On receipt of funds, seller's bank credit the account of the exporter. In this video, I explain 9 steps of documentary collections based on the documents against payment DP and documents against acceptance DA. As these two methods are widely used in an international trade, the said steps of documentary collections may vary slightly in the case of clean collection CC or cash against documents CAD. Thanks for watching this video. No more today.